The universe is everything, from the tiniest particles to the largest galaxies to the very existence of space, time, and life. But how did it all begin? The origin of the universe is the origin of everything. Multiple scientific theories, plus creation myths from around the world, have tried to explain its mysterious genesis. However, the most widely accepted explanation is the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory states that the universe began as a hot and infinitely dense point. Only a few millimeters wide, it was similar to a supercharged black hole. About 13.7 billion years ago, this tiny singularity violently exploded. And it is from this explosion, this bang, that all matter, energy, space, and time were created. What happened next?
You see, God is invisible. He is spirit. And so he wanted to create something visible for us to see his nature, majesty, and glory. And so here's the thing. If the nature of God is eternal, and if his glory is never ending, he would have to create something so massive, something so beautiful, powerful, and seemingly without end to capture even one fraction of his magnitude. And so if the universe is supposed to be a visual representation of God for us, we see why it had to be enormous, seemingly without end, going billions and billions of light years. It had to capture God. If you painted a picture of me, you only need one sheet of paper to do it. But to paint a picture of the infinite God, you need a universe-sized canvas. And if the universe was created by God, it would also need to have a beginning. Well, amazingly, science shows us that this is the case. You see, when you study the movement of the stars, it's clear that the universe is expanding. And so if you were to reverse time, you would actually see the universe contracting to a single point. And then after that, at some point, it exploded and expanded into this never-ending expanse that we see today. And so biblically, that moment when the universe was an atom-sized point and exploded into this gargantuan cosmos we now see, that was the moment the eternal, invisible God decided to paint himself for us. And so when I see someone thanking the universe or praising the universe for something good that happened, I appreciate that this person is humble enough to see that there is a greater force out there than themselves. Absolutely. But biblically, to thank the universe and not God is almost like thanking the portrait of someone rather than the person themselves. And so I appreciate the stars. I appreciate the galaxies, the beauty of it, because it's basically God's painting of himself. And so the point here is, appreciate the portrait, admire its beauty, but by all means, get to know the person.
My name is Karl Zambo, and my reaction to that video is that the universe is really, really beautiful. Every human being only want to expand my knowledge about it, and that the difference between non and scientific theories is that is believing your God created the world 7 days, and it was very, very amazing now how God can create the universe. But for me, I will believe in Him. You may seem that you will judge me, but I will not.
As previously stated, nothing existed prior to the Big Bang, and space was established following the Big Bang. So if there's no space, there wouldn't be any space for the floating infinitely hot dense point. According to physics stack exchange, energy is not a living material that consists of matter. However, radio waves, light, and other forms of radiation all have energy but do not need matter. So yes, you absolutely can have energy without a matter in empty space. Also, energy is not a kind of anything. Energy is a term used to describe a trait of a matter and a non-matter fields. When a matter has a velocity, for example, it is also said to have a kinetic energy. There are also various forms of potential energy. So in a quark epoch, the universe's ingredients were still too hot to form subatomic particles. So, for example, in a reverse statement process of boiling hot water, in the first case, after it reaches its maximum boiling point, the matter rapidly collides with other matter due to the high temperature. The higher the temperature, the more energy will be created, and it will also prevent the formation of a solid or liquid matter, similar to the universe after the Big Bang.
Non-scientific theory tells about how God created the universe, from small atoms to a galaxy, animals to human. Appreciating what God made for us is the purpose of us to live in the earth. Do our responsibility to care earth because God gave huge blessing to us. We have given life, air to breathe, food to eat, water to drink, and many more to survive and live fully on earth. Some people just disregard what's the purpose in their life. That's why they just ruin the life of it. For the scientific theory, it tells us that there was a small particle and suddenly it exploded, giving the elements to make the galaxies, planets, and stars. And that moment, the galaxy formed a big cloud and collecting elements from the sky. And that was the moment that